Hey guys, today I want to talk to you a little bit about a video I posted a while back, and it was called "You Can Go to Jail for a Long Time" or 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover. And this is the story of Bob. For all those that saw the video and commented on the video, there was almost 1,500 comments on that video. So I wanted to respond to the outcome because it sort of left with an abrupt ending where you didn't know where it went or what happened to poor Bob. You know, and if you don't know the story, let me tell you the story with Bob here. Just a quick summary. Bob came to the Philippines at 63 years of age in June of 2022. In August of 2023, he met Kelly, and she moved in with him, and they lived together for a few months. And Bob, he just got tired of Cebu, and he wanted to move somewhere else, and he liked the idea of moving down to Davao, which is close to her hometown. So he told Kelly, quit your job, you're not making that much, come with me and let's move. Well, Kelly was all for that, and they made the big move. They packed everything up and they went on down to Davao. Once they got to Davao, they got a 2-bedroom condo. They also moved in her 10-year-old daughter, and Bob was well aware that Kelly was a single mom, where the child was staying with her parents while she was working in Cebu, but he wanted her to stop working and also wanted the child to move in with them. So that's the first of the year, 2024, when they all moved in together. And everything was good. Everybody was happy. They were enjoying life. You know, Kelly was taking care of her daughter, taking her to school, making sure they had a good family life. Bob was settling into his new life there, enjoying the city. Then around June, Bob started getting antsy. He had some second thoughts about this relationship. He decided he didn't want to be in a relationship with her anymore, that he wanted to be single again. And Bob made a mistake. You know, he started having arguments with them. They were having disagreements. And one day, Bob, he just blew his top. They had a big fight. And Kelly left to go pick up her daughter. She left early in the afternoon to get out of the condo. And while she was gone, Bob packed up all her stuff, all her clothes, all her belongings into bags, into boxes, and also the daughter's clothes and stuff. Took it down to the reception area. And at the reception area, he told them that nobody is allowed in the condo except him. And he had a lease. And he had the locks changed. And that's the end of that part of it. The next part is the police knocked at his door. And when they knocked at his door, they asked him, are you sure you want to do this, that you don't want to have the woman and the child spend the night with you? Think it over, make sure it's what you wanted to do. Bob, he just pulled out that lease and he said, no, this is my condo, I rent it, I'm the only one on the lease. I'm the only one that's going to live here. And he thought he was in his rights. Kelly and the daughter ended up going to a shelter for the night. There was nowhere for them to stay. You know, they were just getting into the condo, I'm going to guess about 6, 7 o'clock at night after picking the daughter up at school. And by the time the police arrived, because Kelly didn't want to leave, she wanted back into the condo, they took her down to a shelter. And that's where she was for the night. The next day, the police came to Bob's residence, and he was arrested. He was arrested under the Anti-Violence Against Women and Children's Act, and he went to jail for the day and the night. The following day, he had a lawyer. The lawyer came and posted bail, and then he was let out, and that's where I left the story. Did Bob do the right thing? How wrong was he? And you know, this video is more about the right way to leave your lover, how to break up with a girlfriend. And there's many ways to do that, guys. You know, if I broke up, and I'm a hypothetical here, I'm living with a girl for 5, 6 months, I would take off. I would just leave. I would say, here, the rent's paid for a couple months. You have 2 months to situate yourself, give her some money, and send her on her way and leave. So there's no conflict, there's no arguments. Yeah, maybe something will get broken, maybe something will be taken, you know. The retribution a woman will have when she's angry and you've left her, who knows what a woman can do. And same thing with a guy. Who knows what a guy can do? But in Bob's situation, here's what happened to Bob. And everybody wanted to know what happened to Bob. Bob sort of settled this. He got a notice of 30 days to answer a complaint against him. And he had his attorney answer the complaint. In the meantime, what he did was he gave Kelly 50,000 pesos. And he got her a plane ticket to go back to Cebu because that's where she wanted to go. That's where she was when he met her. That's where she had a job. She also had friends that she shared a boarding house with. So she wanted to go back to Cebu. Bob also had to pay an attorney. Now, he paid the attorney 30,000 pesos. That was his fee at first. I don't know if it's going to accelerate and be higher by the time the case is finished. But to hire the attorney as a retainer, I guess you're going to call it, that was 30,000 pesos. He had to pay a bond to get out of jail, bail. Bail was 40,000 pesos. Here in the Philippines, anybody accused is entitled to pay bail to get out of jail, as long as it isn't anything super serious like murder, kidnappings, things of that nature. So that's where Bob stands. He stands at a loss, and he still has a court date. And he's hoping in the answer to his complaint where he stipulated, you know, I gave Kelly some money, I got her a plane ticket, and, you know, he paid his bail. He's hoping all the charges will get dropped before they go to court. That's the best case scenario for him. He's sorry about what he did, and I talked to him after this. He told me what happened, everything he had to pay, what he paid. And I asked him, what did she do to cause this? Was she stealing from you? Was she cheating on you? He just said, too much temptation. You know, too many pretty girls around. After a year of being in a relationship, he decided he wanted something else. He didn't want to raise a child anymore because the children take a lot of your time. And that's what happened. The girl's not to blame. Bob's to blame on how he handled the ending of the relationship, but not breaking up of the relationship. So, you know, say what you want about Bob. It was a matter of bad choice, bad judgment, and ill temper. You know, he made a decision at the spur of the moment, and he should have slept on it. The best outcome for him was when that officer showed up at the condo and asked him, are you sure you don't want them back in the residence here? You know, you want the woman to like be evicted? You don't want the child to have a place to stay? And when Bob said, no, I don't. If he would have said, yeah, let him back in, I was just a little angry, maybe that would have blown over. The police would not have been involved anymore. And he could have settled this with Kelly and made some arrangements. And, but he didn't. And this is what he had to go through. I think he got off pretty cheap. I don't think there's going to be any jail time. He seemed very confident with the lawyer that once he answered the complaint and the judge or the prosecuting attorney sees what he has done, they'll end up dropping the charges or a small fine. But you and me and everybody that comes here to the Philippines, as you meet a Filipina, and you know, we all want these girls to live with us. We all want a live-in girlfriend, and that's a big decision you must make. You have to be careful on how you break up with girls, just like back home, guys. You know, when you break up with someone, you can't just throw them on the street. A lot of times it's best, as a man, you know, all those domestic violence charges that could come against you, the woman always has rights. They're the weaker sex. In the U.S., even here in the Philippines, even more so. And especially if there's a child involved. Really think hard before you ask a girl to quit her job, to have the child move in with you, even have her move in with you. Make sure that's what you want, that you're committed to that. There's so much temptation here in the Philippines, guys. You know, when I'm walking around Cebu, even when Janet's there's so many pretty girls, and I can't just imagine a guy who just got here from the States having a girlfriend already, somebody that moved in with him, and then he sees all the temptation out there. All these young, beautiful women, maybe better looking than the girl he has, maybe nicer than the girl he has. Maybe she turns bitter a little bit. You know, a lot of times people change once they settle into a relationship. Maybe you as a man will change, maybe her as a woman will change. That's why So many divorces in the U.S. I really don't ask men, you know, were you married or are you married when they come from the U.S. I ask, how many times were you divorced? I don't believe guys are coming here in their 50s and 60s and never had a serious relationship. You know, they had a relationship that went sour in the States, bitter divorce. I hear about that all the time, how I got taken in the divorce. Here it's a little bit different because there's no divorce, but you're not really marrying these women, you're just cohabitating with them. But you have responsibility. You know, there's more than just violence against a woman. There's emotional distress that you can cause a woman or her child, and there's financial distress you can put them in. If you withhold money from them, food, the ability for them to see their family, all those are crimes here in the Philippines. So think really hard. And what is the best way to leave a girl? The best way is to sit down and say, hey, this isn't working out. How can we solve this? Do you want to go back, you know, to your hometown? Do you want to go get a place by yourself? Do you want to stay here for a month by yourself and decide what you want to do? Let me know. Talk to them. And at first, they're not going to listen too well. But as the days go by, you have to work something out. And arguing and yelling, which is normal for us from the West, is not normal here for the women. They don't like loud voices. They don't like slamming and banging. So breaking up is very hard to do. You see people breaking up all the time online. So many YouTubers break up, and it's a big mess sometimes. Sometimes it's easy. Sometimes it's as easy as shaking hands and each party going on their own way. The other way it gets to is buying the girl off. It can get bad, it can get ugly, but be careful on committing. What are you going to commit? Think hard. Maybe you're better off living separate for a while, dating that girl for 4, 5, 6 months before having her move in. Don't rush to have her move in. Maybe it won't work out and it's going to cost you a lot of money. And it could. It could cost you a lot of money, a lot of aggravation above the money. And if you decide, like I always tell people, you know, pack up your bags and leave. What are the 50 ways to leave your lover? What are all the different ways? You know, you can slip out the back jack, you know, get a new Keeley. There's so many ways that you can leave and not have a physical confrontation. The worst thing you want to do is ever strike anybody. Please don't ever hit. And even the emotional of yelling at somebody and belittling them in public, the saving of the face, all these things are dangerous things to do. So really guys, coming over here, you see all these happy guys with their beautiful live-in girlfriends, their beautiful young wives. If it's not for you, don't do it. If you have a wandering eye, don't do it. Sow all your wild oats. Date as many beautiful girls as you can. Date as many different girls as you can. But once you decide to settle down with somebody, make sure it's the right thing to do. And always be thinking, what if I don't like it anymore? How am I going to get out of this relationship? I can't tell you how to do that. You need to think about that. That's a decision for you to make. That's a personal choice. What's the old saying? Be careful what you wish for. You wish for a beautiful girl to live with you. Well, if she turns out not to be the right girl for you or you the right man for them, it could get ugly. Leave comments. Let me know what you think. What do you think about Bob? He's learned his lesson. I think he got off cheap. Until next time.